Good morning. Week 6. Wow. Can you imagine that? I hope you had a great weekend, a time for some reflection and inspiration and encouragement. I also see a number of you have already completed your assignments, or nearly so, for week 5. Congratulations. I plan to get to work on grading this afternoon and this evening. The coming week, I think, is a great week. It's learning to analyze the culture. The My wife and I have been reading in the book of Acts, and it's interesting to follow from the development of Christianity in Acts 2, where all of these people who have gathered for Pentecost are uh, are hearing the gospel presented to them in their own dialect. They are bewildered because the people who are speaking are not generally competent to speak in that dialect. It would be like a, a deep South Southerner going to Vermont and speaking perfect New England dialect, except it is further complicated by its different languages. So, but then to begin to see the cultural development where the gospel comes to this primarily Jewish or Jewish proselyte group and then spreads as Philip goes down to the Samaritans. Oh my. But as the church leaders send Peter and John down there to find out about what's going on, here it is that they receive the Holy Spirit just like the people of Jewish connection did in Acts 2. And then in Acts, let's see, I've got to stop and think. Acts 10, it's Cornelius, a Gentile, who asks Peter to come and explain the gospel to him. And the culture of the church takes on many different dynamics, much to the consternation of many people. So we're going to discuss this week from a theoretical standpoint, how does the vision of the pastor and leaders of a church compare to the vision of the congregants? And which one do you think is more accurate? Explain that. So that's a good discussion. The bigger project is your pastoral interview. This is a special privilege of you to interact with your pastor, but to also ask some challenging questions that I think are important to ask, and to help him, even as he is answering the questions, to think about the understanding the culture of your church. Readings this week are really good. We'll be reading chapters 12 to 16 plus the postscript in Andy Crouch's book. More great reading from him. We also have the article by Lyle Shadler that is a good read, and the audio presentation or video presentation on exegeting the congregation. We talk a lot about exegeting biblical text, but you also need to learn about how to exegete your congregation. And be sure that you're making plans to gather 4 to 7 congregational members to do your interview for next week, for week 7. When it says a diverse group, that means you may have singles and married, somebody who's been a member for 50 years, and another person who has only been a member for a year. It may be people with children at home and a collegian, or a couple who are empty nesters. The idea is to get diversity of who is involved in your uh, interview. So that's my concern for it. An interview of people who have the same opinion as me is not much value, because they're going to say what I would say. I want you to find people who have diverse perspectives. So be sure that you work on that this week so that next week you can have it taken care of and then be able to produce your paper. So God bless you as you study this week. It's a joy to work with you and to read your assignments as well as your discussion boards. God bless you.